Hi, Taurus. Welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your July 2025 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always, and also pulled the 4 agreements and wisdom and oracle card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off our own those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. All right, we have Mercury. So Mercury actually currently is in Cancer. It's about to move into Leo, and it actually is going to start a retrograde cycle right around the middle of July. So it's basically currently in your third house, moving to your fourth house, and then it's going to retrograde from there. Mercury relates to communication, of course, primarily. All right, we have 8. So 8th house energy for you guys is Sagittarius. Now, we did just have a full moon there recently, so maybe you're still feeling the residual effects of that. But other than that, that area of the zodiac's a little quiet for you guys this month. And 8th house in general points to death, rebirth, intimacy, and investments. All right, and we have you. So yeah, could just be saying you guys might have a focus on yourselves quite a bit this month as well. Currently, we have Venus in your sign, and that is your ruler. We've had Uranus there for quite some time as well, although it will actually be moving into Gemini around the 7th of July. But yeah, could just be saying that you guys might have some more inward focus this month. All right, so we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we have Judgment, and challenging that, we have the Sun. So 2 major arcana cards right off the bat, and this seems like a pretty important combination here. What I'm getting from this primarily could just be saying that something seems to be coming back up for you guys to look at this month. And the challenge there is it could just be saying that there might be a reluctance on your part to actually address it. So it could be one of those things that maybe it's a cycle that you find yourselves repeating, and there's maybe a part of you that subconsciously knows that you need to address it, but for whatever reason there seems to be a reluctance on your part to do so. And, given that we were just talking about the fact that you're going to have that Mercury retrograde come up this month in your fourth house, could even just be saying this could be something that goes back maybe even as far as childhood for some of you. In the foundation position, we have the 5 of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here. And yeah, it could just be saying that maybe whatever the situation is, it could just be one of those things that might cause a blockage for you in certain areas of your life, especially potentially when it comes to career. So you might have a certain habit where maybe there could be some self-sabotage at play. Again, like I said, I feel like it's primarily more of a subconscious thing that you're not necessarily thinking of. It just seems to be almost like a reflex at this point. But I feel like it's one of those things that seems to happen over and over, and something's trying to draw your attention to that this month, but it looks like there's a little bit of a reluctance on your part to do so. All right. In the past position, we have the 8 of Wands. So yeah, for some of you might have already seen this theme coming up, given that this 8 of Wands energy usually points to a lot of energy moving in one direction, a lot of action, a lot of activity. So for some of you, especially given that this is Sagittarius energy, and we were just talking about how we had the full moon in that sign recently, could just be saying that maybe that's when it really started to come back up to the surface for you. All right. In the present position, we have the Fool. So yeah, so again, similar to what I was seeing with the Judgment and then the Sun challenging that, I feel like I said, it seems like there's just a reluctance on your part to actually address this issue. So I feel like you're just trying to take a more light, carefree approach to things right now. In the near future position, we have the Magician. So this is definitely a good thing to see here as far as to me. Usually when I see it come up in a spread like this, it's at least pointing out that whatever the case may be, you do have the tools at your disposal to make the situation turn out however you want it to. So even if this is one of those things where, like I said, maybe if you're dragging your feet around addressing something from the past that needs to be looked at again, could just be saying that ultimately when you do decide to get serious about it, it would be relatively easy for you to finally make that progress. Right. In the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Page of Pentacles. So yeah, so going back to what I was saying there, I feel like this is saying whatever this is that you're reluctant to look at, it seems like it could be causing some blockages for you. So if we look at the Page of Pentacles energy, it's not like it's a big setback, right? But if we look at the artwork, we see how that pentacle is just out of reach. So, and given that I said for some of you this could be related more to a career kind of dynamic, could just be saying that once you do look at that and address the situation, if you have had some kind of a blockage within your careers, it looks like that would be the key to clearing it up. All right. In the environment position, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So yeah, in the context of this reading as a whole, could just be saying that maybe at times you're a little dismissive of collaborating with others when it could actually be beneficial, you know? So if we think about this energy, this is a pretty solid energy, right? It's mostly a positive card. The Nine of Pentacles is definitely a positive, but let's say, for example, if your ultimate goal is to get to that Ten of Pentacles, and here we see the Page of Pentacles also with that pentacle just out of reach, right? Could just be saying that that maybe is the key to where you're just a little bit too set in your ways, and then you don't necessarily have the energy to collaborate with others when it would actually be beneficial to the whole group. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Six of Swords. So yeah, I do have to say, seeing this in the hopes or fears position does to me make it seem a lot more likely that a lot of you do have an awareness of this issue. And that's why I was saying the good thing with the Magician in the near future position is that when you do decide that, okay, yeah, I found we do need to address this, it should be relatively easy for you to get back on track. But like I said, up to this point, even maybe this is just a temporary thing where you're just feeling a little bit more rebellious. Again, like we said, given that Uranus is wrapping up its transit through your sign, maybe that's kicking that back up to the surface. But yeah, it looks like there's a part of you that does want to leave that cycle behind. All right. And in the outcome position, we have the Queen of Cups. So this is Cancerian energy here. So of course, just based on the timeline, we'll be in Cancer season pretty soon here, and then through most of July. So yeah, it could just be saying that for some of you, there's just still reluctance on your part to communicate around whatever this is. So maybe that's really going to be the key to helping you get over this blockage, is to finally communicate with whoever maybe was a part of the situation starting to begin with. And then that could help clear the air and move things forward. But it looks like, at least right now, you're not necessarily ready to open up and express what's on your mind around the situation. All right. And bottom of the deck, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So yeah, this is actually Jupiter energy here, and you guys do have Jupiter in Cancer, which is your third house of communications. I feel like this is just saying that for whatever reason, it seems like the timing is right for this conversation to happen around the situation. And interestingly enough, beneath that, we do see the Six of Pentacles as well, which is about restoring balance. So yeah, so it seems like maybe there's some kind of falling out that you have with someone. So for some of you, it seems like it might be more of a repeat cycle. So maybe if it started out as a falling out with one person, there could be a ripple effect to where it's actually causing you to repeat that dynamic with others as well. And until you address it with the original person that it took place with, you might just find yourselves repeating that cycle. But it looks like this is really a good month for whatever reason. Well, I mean, we mentioned a few reasons why it could be the case, as far as Jupiter in your third house communication, things like that. But it seems like the timing's right to finally address it. All right, so from the Four Agreements deck, we have don't take anything personally, and it says become immune to poison. Right? It says the whole world can gossip about you, and if you don't take it personally, you are immune. Immunity to poison in the middle of hell is the gift of the second agreement. So, it seems like somewhat dramatic wording there, but definitely seems like an overall strong message there. So hopefully that resonates with you guys. And then from the Wisdom Oracle, we have Observer. There's the artwork, and the number is 49. Essential meanings says perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. The Oracle's message. Most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. So yeah, definitely a positive message there, especially if, like I said, maybe this is just one of those things where it's a wound that needed to be addressed, and then because it hasn't been yet, you just might find yourselves in those repeating cycles. So hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says, sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees in your way. Feelings can get all jumbled up, and often you hear one thing when a person says another. It can be like an echo of an unresolved past experience dubbed over your conversation. Take time out before you react. It's likely the other person has no idea how his or her words have affected you. Take a few steps back and lend understanding to the situation. Have faith in your connection and trust that you can come together. Take to higher ground now and cultivate curiosity about what you observe in yourself, in others, and in the landscape. You will find things much improved sooner than you know. So yeah, that was an interesting message there, because for a lot of you, it seems like it's somehow linked more with career than anything. But if this is around a personal one-to-one romantic connection as well, hopefully that message resonated as far as the potential to clear the air there. And the prosperity message says, it is an advantageous time for you to get some distance from what you're doing to see your work and your projects from a different perspective. The trick is to connect to the essence of your goals and aspirations while letting the form and timing be dictated by spirit. You may be too personally attached to an outcome and unable to see the miracle because it's not turning out exactly as you planned. Trust spirit. The perfect version of your abundance is right in front of you. Remain neutral and curious and watch the miracle unfold. So yeah, have an interesting message there as far as that seems to be pointing more to saying maybe you need to have a little bit more faith in the situation as well. And given that we do see the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck and the Magician in the near future, definitely seems like there is the potential for things to go the way you ultimately want them to. So hopefully that resonates with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.